I'm a guy who does a lot of thinking. Maybe I'm a philosopher, who knows. But I'm pretty good at thinking, and I believe I can help people expand their minds to be more open like the background picture here. I'm also the kind of guy who thinks the word "but" is funny, as well as the kind of guy who would choose this background picture because it also includes "butte," another word I think is funny. So you're sitting in class, a blank sheet of paper in front of you, mocking you, and the teacher says something like, write about your favorite flavor of ice cream. It's the sort of thing that teachers will sometimes say to you and expect you to write about, so you try. My favorite flavor of ice cream is strawberry cheesecake. It's really good and I like it a lot. I get it at Sweet Rewards, which is the ice cream place near our house, and your assignment's done. Or maybe you're working on some argumentative essay and the teacher gives you a topic like, should schools adopt a school uniform policy? And you first think having school uniforms is a dumb idea, but you know you can't do that. So you try and start with something more sophisticated like this, but then you have nothing more to say. So I think I have something that might help. I'm calling it yes but no questions, which is just a clever take on the traditional yes or no questions. And a yes no but no question is a question that invites an answer with two sides with some sort of opposition. And it's a question that encourages us to think more deeply about our answers. And lastly, a yes but no question should have a compound sentence answer. So here's an example. Do you like ice cream? Stop right there, some of you are saying. That's just a yes or no question. And to that I say, if you look a little closer, you might see what I mean and then be able to answer something like, I like ice cream, but it isn't my favorite food, or I don't like ice cream, but I will eat it sometimes, or I can eat ice cream every day, but I don't because it gives me diarrhea, or I enjoy ice cream, but I don't like it when it has chunks. A version of that sentence could be, I enjoy ice cream, but not when it has, but not when it has chunks. Oh, that's technically not a compound sentence, and so some of you are saying, well, then that comma shouldn't be there, and to you I say, fine, if it makes you happier, there it's gone. Another example, what is your favorite movie? I really like the movie Braveheart, but my favorite is Shawshank Redemption. Or choosing a favorite movie is too difficult, but I do have some favorite comedies and favorite dramas. Or I don't watch many movies, but I did really like Horton Hears a Who. And one last example, would you want to be a doctor? I would like to be a doctor, but I wouldn't want to go to school for that long. Or I wouldn't want to be a doctor, but I am interested in how the body works. I might like to be a doctor, but I would be most interested in working with the brain. So those are just some examples. So how you go about answering a yes or no question? Well, first of all, you have to think of an answer that addresses the question, even if it isn't a direct answer, even if it's I don't know or I don't really have one. And then come up with an exception or a clarification that would follow the word but. That exception is something that's going to go against or somehow contradict what you said before, and a clarification is just something that's going to explain things a little bit more clearly. Let me show with some examples what I mean between an exception and a clarification. So I enjoy ice cream, except I don't like it when it has chunks, or I don't watch many movies, except I did really like Horton Hears a Who. No, I wouldn't want to be a doctor, except I am interested in how the body works. Slightly different answers and clarifications. So I like ice cream, but it isn't my favorite food, or choosing a favorite movie is too difficult. So, but I can say have some favorite comedies and dramas, or I wouldn't like to be a doctor, but clearly I would most likely to like to work with the brain. If the distinction between clarifications and exceptions is confusing to you, feel free to forget it. I'm sure you can do that. So, try it. Write an answer to the following yes but no questions, capitalizing and punctuating them correctly. Do you like vegetables? What is your favorite subject? Do you agree that school year should go year-round with more breaks? And then if you have time, write a yes but no question of your own and then answer it. Go ahead, pause the video, I'll wait. Now, you may not have paused the video and actually written out the sentence. Maybe you have a policy against listening to voices that are coming out of your computer, and that's maybe a good idea. But if you did, or if you didn't, here are some examples that I wrote, and you can feel free to pause the video again or not to look at them a little bit more closely and compare them to your answers. So, this is more, though, than about writing some simple compound sentences. This is about improving your life in some way. At the basic, enhancing your writing, especially the argumentative writing where you're expected to come up with that counter argument or the other side, but just coming up with more details and more nuance to write about. But also having better conversations when you're talking and people ask you. Thinking this way can kind of help you to have a little bit more to say. But more importantly, maybe most importantly, it's just about challenging the way that you think about things. So thoughts like, today is really a bad day, but I can be glad or thankful about this or that. Or this is really hard, but if I push myself, then maybe. Or I don't like him, but that doesn't mean I have to punch him in the face. Something like that. So, when it's your writing then, and the teacher comes and says, write about your favorite flavor of ice cream, maybe thinking this way could lead you to write this sort of thing. My favorite flavor of ice cream is strawberry cheesecake, but that is strange because I don't usually like chunks of anything in my ice cream. Moose Tracks is alright, but I could definitely do without the mini peanut butter cups. Maybe the cheesecake chunks are soft enough, or maybe I just like cheesecake so much that I am even willing to have it chunk up my ice cream. Not exactly the sort of soul-searching analytical thing teachers might be looking at for, but if they're asking you to write about ice cream, they get what they deserve.